Welcome to Italics, television for the Italian-American experience. I'm your host, Anthony Tamburri. This month, we spoke with Silvana Mangione, Deputy Secretary General for Extra-European Anglophone countries of the General Council of Italians Abroad. And we visited NOIAW's 2023 Annual Epiphany Celebration at the Columbus Citizens Foundation. Silvana, welcome to Italics.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me. I always say that they gave me such a tall title because I'm a short person. The full title is Deputy Secretary General of the General Council of Italians Abroad for the Italian communities in the extra-European English-speaking countries, that is to say, Australia, Canada, United States, and the Republic of South Africa. So I have a lot to do with marvelous communities, totally different from one another, and each of them quite exciting and quite marvelous.
So let's just take a minute to explain what the CGA, the Consiglio Generale di Italiani all'Estero, the General Council of Italians Abroad, and also Comites, the Comitato di Italiani all'Estero, or the Committee of Italians Abroad.
Comitato degli Italiani all'Estero is an elective body created by an Italian law. The elections are held in all of the consular circumscriptions throughout the world where there are at least 3,000 Italian citizens registered at the consulate. The duty of the Comitato degli Italiani all'Estero is to discover, search, understand all the needs of the Italian community in their area, in the area of their competence, and work together with the Italian consulate and with Consiglio Generale degli Italiani all'Estero in order to solve their problems, either by direct intervention of the consulate or the embassy, or through the Consiglio Generale degli Italiani all'Estero by bothering the government and the parliament so that the proper laws are passed and the proper protection of all the rights of Italians residing abroad are met.
These are Italian citizens residing abroad.
Exactly.
There is basically the equivalent of an entire region of Italy that lives outside of Italy.
Absolutely.
Something like 6 million, 7 million?
6.5 million Italians live abroad. We would be not only the 21st region of Italy, but the second for population after Lombardy. Also, within Comitato degli Italiani all'Estero are co-opted, elected by the members that have been elected by the population, 4 councillors who are of Italian descent but do not have the Italian citizenship. That is because it is absolutely necessary to recognize the Italian descendants, as we say, an enormous population throughout the world, in the United States in particular and in South America. One of the fundamental things that we have not been able to accomplish yet, and I have spent almost all my life in trying to do it, and you even better than me, is to bring together these two marvelous realities that are the Italo-Italians, as I call them, the recent immigration, and the Italian descendants, because there is a richness in their way of being that is so enormous that we should put it together in order to have a strength and a power that right now we don't have because we are fragmented as usual.
Also because some of the quote-unquote Italians who are living here, not all, but some, occasionally look at the Italian descendants or Italian Americans as quote-unquote inferior, as not real Italians, when we're different.
Yes.
There's the Italian who is raised, socialized, educated formally in Italy, and there is the child, grandchild, great-grandchild of the immigrants. They're two different cultures, but they're very similar.
Exactly.
And I think that is our challenge.
It's our challenge, and it is a matter of love. Those of Italian descent have a love for Italy that is all-encompassing. It has no limit. It is the mother. the grandmother, the great-grandmother, whatever, but it is literally the place to which they look as their origin, what they are inside and why they are the way they are and why they behave the way they behave. And it is a marvelous sensation when you talk with any Italian descender. The problem with many exponents of the new immigration from Italy is that they go abroad not only to search for a new career or to new challenges or to new opportunities, but also because they are dissatisfied with what Italy has become of late.
The old expression was fuga dei cervelli,
Sì.
which sort of speaks, I guess, to this overall sense of dissatisfaction, as you said. When we think of fuga dei cervelli, we really think, right, of college-educated, desperate people. But that's changed to some degree significantly,
yes.
right?
Yes, it has.
That we really can't say fuga dei cervelli anymore. That I think we really have to look at people who perhaps can stay in Italy but see something more satisfying professionally abroad.
As with the Consiglio Generale degli Italiani all'estero, we have been working with the Ministry of University and Culture in order to create a circularity of movement. It is most important that people who are college educated, who have their PhDs in all different kinds of knowledge, do go abroad, do have their experience abroad, do become part of the texture of another country where research is considered much more important and much more financeable than it is in Italy. But then it's very important that we allow them to come back if they want to, right, at the same level that they left in the country where they emigrated.
Right.
And that is the important thing. If they don't want to come back, that's fine too, as long as they create an ambience with other researchers at the same level of another country with other nationalities, so that Italy will enjoy the riches of this combined work of different researchers from different countries. The concept is marvelous. The application of the concept is always something very delicate and very difficult to bring to fruition. The expression fuga dei cervelli infuriates me. Because it is an insult to all those who emigrated before and perhaps did not have a college degree, but they did have enormous brains, great intelligence, great courage, and a will to build something that has created entire countries and helped entire countries to become what they are.
Yeah.
I take my hat off to these people and to the traditional immigration and all what they have done, thought, built, and created for themselves and for their families.
What people don't realize is that at the turn of the 20th century, between three countries, the United States, France, and Germany, 10 million people had left. That's not counting other areas, right? Latin America, for example,
Exactly.
always had also a great influx of Italians, and we know from what we see in Brazil and what we see in Argentina. All these people left Italy, and it seemed for a long time that this sort of collective imaginary in Italy wasn't aware of it for
Yes.
some reason, right?
Yes.
And I mention this only because it's a project that you and I have been working on for a long time, and that is putting together 4 books in Italian for the Italian reading public on the Italians in the 4 Anglophone countries that you mentioned, United States, Canada, Australia, and South Africa.
2 books have already been published, and they are the one on the United States, who has been distributed by hand by me at one of the meetings in Rome, actually in December last year, to the top people in the government, in the parliament, in the regions of Italy, and all of them come to New York to meet the community, and all of them come to me and say, that book was wonderful, quel libro l'ho letto ed è ottimo, and so I grow, and I'm very happy, and I'm transmitting it to you with my thanks for it. We have also published the one on Canada, which is also extremely interesting, and we are working on the third one that is on Australia, and it seems it will be as interesting, if not more, of the two previous ones. Then comes the very delicate one, totally different, that is the one regarding the Republic of South Africa. And over there, we are working very delicately because the history of our presence in South Africa is not known. So we need to start from the very beginning, which we did not need to do with the United States, with Canada, and with Australia, because there is a lot of research on the other three countries. I love particularly the Republic of South Africa. I've been there at least 10 times so far. I know it inside and out. I know the people, I know the community, that is a wonderful community. And there is so much to learn because they went through this political revolution in the country, from apartheid to finally liberty and democracy, with a series of risks in what was happening, because there wasn't a generation of administrators outside of the ones that had been created by the rulers of apartheid. So it is a country that is building itself again, starting from scratch. And the Italian community in the country has been fundamental, and it's working with the African National Congress in order to better the situation for the entire population of South Africa. These are a few of the good things that Consiglio Generale degli Italiani all'Estero does. It was also created by a law of the Italian Parliament. The first mandate of Consiglio Generale started in 1991. I've been elected throughout the different mandates. I'm now in my 5th mandate. 43 of us are elected in 17 countries. We have 4 duties that are at the same time duties and powers. The first one is to do research, which we are doing, in order to understand what is happening with the different communities and be able to talk with the government and the parliament in order to get them to do whatever is needed to fix the problems. The second one is the power and the duty to propose solutions to the problems, and even to suggest that some laws should be approved. The third level is a consultative level. But I am very happy to say that very often we have been able to change the line that the government or the regions or the parliament were taking to better the situation of the Italians abroad. We do volunteer work. We are not paid for the work we do, absolutely. We talk with the centers of power. We do not legislate ourselves, but we can suggest laws. We always consult with all the comitati all'estero in the world. They are 118 right now in all different countries. We get their input, and we put it together, and then when finally we all agree to the concept and to the development and to the adjournment, then there is the scream, Silvana scrivi, Silvana, sit down and write the articles of the law that we are going to present.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about how Italy helps with the teaching of Italian here in the United States.
The teaching of Italian abroad started with a law number 153, approved in 1971. The law stated that Italy had the duty to teach Italian to Italian laborers and workers abroad and their families. That defined Italian as an ethnic language, which was the biggest mistake we could do. Slowly were created throughout the world the so-called anti-gestori, which is untranslatable.
Right.
They need to be creative entities because they have slowly changed the application of the law to make Italy understand that we need to teach Italian to everybody who wants to, and second, make Italy understand that Italian is a language of culture. The turning point was a conference that Consiglio Generale degli Italiani all'Estero organized together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We organized this marvelous conference in 1996, in which we said that we need to bring together everybody, including the Italian entrepreneurs, the different entities, the researchers throughout the world, the communities, in order to spread the knowledge of the Italian language and even more of the Italian culture, because that is fundamental to promote Made in Italy and what we call Sistema Italia. Because if someone speaks Italian or reads about Italy or learns about Italian culture, becomes an Italophile, a lover of Italy, will come to Italy, will buy Il Borgo that has been abandoned and is on top of a mountain and it's gorgeous and dates back to the year 1000. So it is not only giving beauty, intelligence, and culture to the world, but it is also helping the balance of payments of the Italian people and of Italy itself. Unfortunately, a very recent direction coming from Italy has complicated the life of anti-gestori, creating a bureaucratic ether up to a point that has been slowing down our capability of teaching Italian from K to 12 in the United States, creating the possibility that some of the people who have studied Italian in the school, when they go to college or to university, they will keep studying Italian, they will study Italian literature, they will become researchers in Italian-American studies that are another most important part of all of this picture that we are trying to paint. Because if we keep separating even the study on Italian situation from the study of Italian-American culture, or Italian-Canadian, or Italian-Australian, or Italian-South African, or Italian whatever else, we are making an enormous mistake. We are alienating a part of our hearts. And that is unacceptable, in my view.
Because by bringing these two, whatever they are, groups, subject matter, et cetera, together, it also speaks back to the practical issue of the little mountain village that needs to be refilled with people, right? Re-inhabited and things of that sort. It is a question of culture and business.
Yes.
It is that amalgamation of the both that really needs to take place. It seems, unfortunately, that some Italian Americans identify power with money as opposed to power with knowledge. And I think many of us would agree that the greater power comes with knowledge than it does with money. It may seem that power is more quickly acquired with money, but I think that in the long run, it is really knowledge that gives you that sense of power.
I agree totally. The world we live in right now is a world in which knowledge and creativity are much more important than money. Knowledge is fundamental. Italy, I'm sorry to say, is not yet understanding that financing the teaching of Italian language and culture is a fundamental thing to do. So far, Italy spends about 1/8 of what Germany spends, 1/9 of what France spends. I don't have the numbers for Spain, but Spain spends a lot of money as well. Those countries have understood that their goods, their practices, their centers are supported by people who learn their language.
Yeah. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you, Silvana.
Thank you so much.
On January 29, NOIAW honored three wise women: Linda Carlozzi, principal at Jackson Lewis PC, Vanessa Racci, singer, and Rossella Rago, show host at Cooking with Nonna. Let's go to the Columbus Citizens Foundation.
Mom was my first mentor, and what I realize as I get older, I see that how wise my mother really was and how much she was the trailblazer. Everyone kind of says, I am. It was her. She grew up during the war. She was born here in the States. She was raised in Italy, did not speak English very well. Back then, women did not have the opportunity for higher education. What she instilled in me that I am so incredibly grateful for is the value of higher education and the value of pursuing your desires and what motivates you and what inspires you. My mom never felt that no was acceptable. If I said, no, I really can't do it, you can do it. Keep trying. You can do it. You will do it. You will achieve what you want to achieve. I took a gap year and I wanted to work in Connecticut, and I sat at the dinner table and I said, I think I want to go to law school. And my father, bless his heart, said, really, figlia mia? Ma perché? Why? My mother, who was about 5'4", the fist comes down on the table. She says, hey, my daughter wants to go to law school. My daughter's going to law school. That was the end of the discussion, and people who know me know this story. I'm always going to be grateful for my experience with NOIAW, with so many of the members. I will always continue to support you because NOIAW is doing the work of lifting us all up, right? Not only because we're women, but because we are Italian and Italian-American women, that we should be lifting each other up and that we should be supporting one another. And I will continue to be a part of this community that I love so dearly and work with this next generation, right? I'm looking in the back of the room, I'm looking in the front of the room. You're the future. Your future is very bright. I thank you all, and I hope that I can live up to this award. Mille grazie.
I'm a jazz singer with a focus of Italian-American contributions on jazz in America. I grew up living with my grandfather, Francesco Prisciantelli. He was Barese and taught me a lot about Italian culture, such as how to make great frittatas, and more importantly, the music of the great Italian-American songbook. He would blast Connie Francis, Dean Martin, and Louis Prima from his car like it was rap music. And we'd often sing the songs at family parties. So my music career professionally started when I was 12 at the Westchester Broadway Dinner Theater, RIP. I played lots of leading roles in theater and won a Helen Hayes Award at the age of 18 for my role as Christine in Phantom. But when it came time to go to college, my parents asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I said, well, I want to be a singer, of course. And they said, oh, no, that's not a real job. That's just a hobby. You go to school for business. So like a good Italian girl, I did. And I was good at it. Out of college, I worked at McCann Erickson Advertising Agency in Midtown, and I had an 11-year career at PepsiCo, climbing the ladder to marketing executive. But while in corporate, I realized something was missing: my voice. So I started studying voice privately again, and my husband challenged me to do 10 shows that year. So I said, okay, and I did 20. But doing both music and corporate America started to wear on me. I was working 14-hour days during the week and performing on weekends. In 2019, I got bronchitis 4 times in 1 year, and my biggest supporter, my husband, was feeling neglected. So after much discussion, we decided that I would leave my corporate job to pour my heart and soul into what I believe is my true purpose in life: connecting with people through song and keeping Italian-American contributions to music alive for future generations. So now I'm more fulfilled than I ever was. I have a booking agent, I'm on a jazz label, I've made the top 10 traditional jazz albums of 2022, but I also continue part-time marketing consulting to help artists and entrepreneurs realize their dreams and teach voice to a growing roster of young Italian-American women. And I didn't have any VC backing or music industry connections or guidance. It was all powered by the strength of someone who believed in me and the strong sense of purpose. So I'm so honored to be recognized for my efforts this evening and to be among such accomplished, amazing Italian-American women. I aim to continue to leverage my talents in whatever way I can to unite, celebrate, and empower our community. Thank you so much.
And me, I mean, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn who wanted to document the oral history of our grandmothers so we could all make pasta pisali one day. At 29, my Nonna Romana was widowed with 2 small children. And a few short years later, she immigrated to the United States with only her son in tow, because in so many words, there was no more room for her to bring 2 children to stay with her at her sister's house where she would live for many years. I know this sounds unimaginable now, but I believe that these were the impossible choices of what I consider to be the greatest generation that has ever lived. For 27 years, Nonna worked at the Howard Clothing Factory in Brooklyn. She spent long days bent over a sewing machine doing time work, and would usually bring work home with her to do piecework so that she could earn extra money to send back to Italy for my mother, Angela. I've thought long and hard about why she endured so much hardship during her life. You know, why didn't she just give up and go back to the motherland? When I was a young woman, I remember feeling tremendous pressure to really make something of myself, to go to college and get a degree because my Nonna couldn't, to get married and have a long-lasting family because my Nonna didn't, to become someone truly important in this big corporate setting because that was never even an option for her. And it's only today, now that she's almost 90, she'll be 90 in April, and after I've been able to flourish in this amazing country and write books and start businesses, that I realize why she sacrificed so much. And I don't believe that it's because she wanted me to be anything special at all. Our mothers, our Nonna, lived the lives that they lived so that we could be women with choices, free to be anyone and anything we wanted. And the things that we do with passion are really what matters in this world. Every day, I feel like the luckiest Italian-American woman to be able to passionately represent my heritage as a large part of what I do. And I'm so humbled to be able to share that honor with all of you this evening. Tonight, we can be called wise women because we stand on the shoulders of those women who brought us here with their wisdom and gave us these choices. Thank you so much, everybody.
In the meantime, let us tell you that we love you. Buonasera, paesani. Hope you're inspired.
Thanks for watching this episode of Italics. I'm Anthony Tamburri. Arrivederci alla prossima puntata.